Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Canal Algérie's Nightly News. To the headlines. As part of the Artist National Day, the President of the Republic honors young creators with the President's Ali Maashi Award. The head of state is honored for the great importance he attaches to arts and reiterates on the occasion the necessity to write the FLN musical troupe's history. Army General Said Chingriha, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, receives the Director of the Russian Military and Technical Cooperation to assess the progress of this file and examine other issues of common interest. A boom in Algeria's commercial balance over the first quarter of the current year, and more is expected in the coming months pursuant to the President's guidelines. Normalization with the Zionist entity is once again denounced via a demonstration staged before the Makhzen's parliament. Welcome again. First off, and on the occasion of the Artist National Day, the President of the Republic attended an awarding ceremony to honor young creators with the President's Ali Maashi Award. The event was an opportunity to highlight once again the great importance he attaches to this sector. More insights on the ceremony attended by senior officials and prominent artists with Rania Al-Bahri.
رئيس الجمهورية
The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, presided over the awarding ceremony of the President of the Republic Award for Young Creators, Ali Maashi, at the International Conference Center here in Algiers, on the occasion of the Artist National Day. The ceremony was held in the presence of senior state officials, members of government, and many artistic and cultural figures. The President of the Republic then proceeded to the awarding ceremony of the laureates of each genre.
إلى مراسم تسليم وتتويج المتوجين بجائزة رئيس الجمهورية للمبدعين الشباب علي معاشي. لذلكم أدعو فضلا سيدي رئيس الجمهورية. يتقدم المبدع الشاب الطيب صياد الحائز على المرتبة الأولى في فن الرواية الأدبية. تقدم المبدعة الشابة منال بن هلال، تحصلت على المرتبة الأولى في العمل المسرحي المكتوب كأحسن عمل أدبي.
The family of arts and culture in Algeria paid tribute to the President of the Republic during the awarding ceremony, a tribute during which the great figures of cinema, namely Fatima Hlilu and Sid Ahmed Agoumi, on behalf of art and culture family, offered him a canvas by the famous Algerian visual artist Hamza Bounoua as a gratitude of his efforts to promote the sector. The President of the Republic tackled with the Algerian artists present in this artistic event. On the sidelines of the ceremony, the President of the Republic visited the various photo exhibition stands of the artistic troupe of the National Liberation Front, where he was told about the different stages of the revolution and the history of this troupe, as well as its main achievements. The President of the Republic emphasized the importance of writing the historical course of the artistic troupe of the National Liberation Front to preserve our cultural heritage and pass it on to future generations. The President of the Council of Nations, Salah Goudjil, the President of the National People's Assembly, Ibrahim Boughali, the Prime Minister, Ayman bin Abderrahman, the General of the Army, Said Chingriha, as well as the Minister of Culture and Arts, Soraya Moulouji, took part in the awarding ceremony, precisely the second and third winners of each category.
سيدات وسادة المقام أهل الفن والثقافة والإبداع.
The Minister of Art and Culture, Soraya Moulouji, announced during this ceremony her suggestion about the artist social protection system and the launching of a social medical center project for the benefit of artists. For their part, the laureates and other prominent artists paid vibrant tribute to the President of the Republic for this lofty and highly symbolic move, seen as a token of gratitude to their long and brilliant career.
Army General Saeed Chingiriha, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, has received on Thursday Dmitry Shuayev, the Director of the Federal Service for Military and Technical Cooperation of the Federation of Russia, at the headquarters of the High Command of the People's National Army. The audience was attended by commanders of forces, heads of departments, and central directors of the Ministry of National Defense, and the personnel of the People's National Army, as well as members of the Russian delegation. During this meeting, both parties held bilateral talks revolving around the progress of military cooperation between both countries, in addition to issues of common interest. The Trade Minister Tayyip Zitouni announced that the surplus in the trade balance recorded by Algeria is about $3.5 billion, stressing that his sector is aiming to achieve higher goals by the end of the current year, pursuant to the President's guidelines. Sabanin Tafriginit reports.
The imports value of the first quarter of the current year reached $13.89 billion, while the exports revenues rose to $17.39 billion during the same period, representing a surplus of $3.5 billion.
التجارة الخارجية ما هما المؤشرات؟ أول شيء لازم نعرفوا بلي كاين تحسن يعني كبير.
Concerning the foreign trade, we've witnessed an increase in the value of non-hydrocarbons exports from $220 million in 2020 to $5 billion in 2021 and $7 billion in 2022. Algeria registered a surplus of $43 billion in 2020, $44 billion in 2021 and more than $64 billion in 2022.
$40 مليار في 2020 طلعنا إلى $44 مليار في 21 طلعنا إلى 64 مليار في 22. هذا المهم جدا.
Non-hydrocarbon exports reached $1.7 billion in the first months of the year of 2023. The sector is working to hoist this figure and achieve the target numbers set by the President of the Republic, which is $13 billion by the end of 2023. The measures taken by the public authorities to facilitate exports have made it possible to increase the number of effective exporters to 1,628 compared to 475 operators in 2010. Facilitating the exports procedures, assisting companies in the process of ensuring the certification of their products by relevant laboratories, in addition to financing a part of transportation fees, have enabled a significant increase in exports. The strategy adopted by the Ministry of Trade in coordination with the various sectors that are involved in exports includes the enhancement of the program dedicated to the participation of Algeria in economic events abroad, with the aim to involve economic operators in the selection of the targeted markets, a process that takes into consideration the production capacity of the country in the different fields. The strategy also includes the opening of branches of the Algerian Company of Fairs and Exhibitions in Niger, Mauritania and Senegal to serve as a distribution platform and to promote the Algerian products in these countries.
Internationally, attacks of the Sahrawi People's Liberation Army continue. The forces of the Moroccan occupation are suffering considerable human and material losses along the Wall of Shame. On Wednesday, units of the SPLA bombed retrenchments positions of the occupation forces in the regions of Fidrat al-Gharab, Fidrat al-Aj, Askibi al-Nakhla and Askibi al-Mashghab in the sector of Hawza. In Morocco, people keep swarming the street to denounce the socio-economic situation in the country and the flagrant absence of justice in different fields. Sabarin Tafriginit once again.
Nowadays, demonstrations are part of Moroccan people's daily life. The situation is far from being improved. Moroccans are demanding a regularization of their administrative and financial situation, as dozens of unemployed graduates affiliated to the National Company of Diploma holders were humiliated and beaten up by the Mahsen security forces, ordered to silence any opposition member. Mahsen's forces prevented us from claiming our rights, but we will continue demonstrating. Injustice is blatant. The situation is unbearable. Protesters, mainly young people, are also denouncing the harsh living standards and the high cost of living conditions, alongside the turmoil that invaded practically all sectors, including the employment one. We have meager salaries regarding our diplomas. We can't even finish the month. The social crisis triggered by the current economic crisis in Morocco keeps getting worse. Moroccan people, on the other hand, are determined to put an end to Al Makhzen's political repression and condemn every injustice in the country.
The multi-phase turmoil in Morocco reached also the Makhzen parliament, in front of which hundreds of protesters came to denounce the normalization with the Zionist entity, accentuated by the visit of the head of the Zionist parliament, seen as a serious blow to the whole Muslim nation. More details in the following reports. The normalization of the relations with the Zionist entity still arouses the anger and frustration of the Moroccan people, who are conscious of the dangers and the repercussions of this accord on the stability and security of their country. We cannot accept that the Speaker of the Parliament of the Zionist occupation visits with impunity and will be received by the Moroccan Parliament, while this institution is of the far right and is dominated by fascists. Protesters chanted slogans denouncing the rapprochement between Morocco and the Zionist entity, while recalling their firm position concerning the Palestinian cause. We are here to say that we will continue the fight and that these normalization accords will fall, and we will continue the struggle for Palestine to be free, and that the Palestinian state will be built on all Palestinian land. For Moroccans, the normalization with the Zionist entity is a betrayal to the interests of the Muslim and Arab nation and to the Moroccan people, who are undergoing the worst socio-economic crisis in their history. On the occasion of the Artist National Day, we wrap up our news with this enchanting choreographic show held at the Opera of Algiers. Enjoy and good night.